From the star-studded matchups in the Final Four to the national championship showdown of the best rosters in the game, the road to the title was nothing short of unforgettable. The Michigan Wolverines have cut the nets and have been crowned the NCAA tournament champions. I'm your host, Isaiah Maldonado, joined by our specialists, Jaiden Hope, Gigi Jones, and Mason Moore. And tonight, we break down the biggest moments, the breakout stars, and the game that has cemented Michigan as national champions. Starting off in the Final Four, we had to match up of two number one seeds, which was thought to be the best matchup of the entire tournament. But we also had that win. The Michigan Wolverines defeated Arizona 91-73 to advance to the title game. What were your biggest takeaways from the game?
Honestly, Michigan didn't surprise me at all because their size and their length is the reason that they won this game. Now, Arizona has been able to bully their competitors all season long, but when they ran into a team like Michigan that were bigger than them, on the perimeter, at the guard spot, and they're just able to control the whole game. And I really do feel bad for Arizona fans because they've never won a national championship, and this was looking so promising for them. Yeah. I picked them to win my championship bracket. Yes, they were the number one team all year long, and they just ran to a really bad matchup in Michigan. And you just got to salute Michigan for that. They created multiple turnovers. They didn't allow Arizona to get comfortable. And they shut Cole Pete down. They shut Braden Burries down. They just completely controlled the game from start to finish.
I think Michigan did exactly what they were coached to do. They've been coached well all season by head coach Dusty May. And people try to discredit this team a lot just because they had a lot of transfer players and they had a lot of players out of the portal. But this team, they were one cohesive unit the entire season. They showed that throughout the tournament. And don't take anything away from Arizona as well. Arizona has been a solid team throughout the season as well. And they're well coached. They just ran, like Mason said, they just ran into a bad matchup. They ran into Michigan while they were hot at the wrong time. But also, it says more about Michigan's team as well, just because they lost their best player, Yaxel Lindborg, early, and they were still able to dominate Arizona, not just inside the paint, but also on the perimeter as well.
Yeah, I mean, Michigan's been dominant all year. I don't think it was really surprising the way this game turned out. I mean, the Wolverines also shot very effective from three. Arizona was struggling offensively because of a lot of pressure they were feeling. And things like turnovers, those are always going to hurt you in big games at the end of the day. I'm not really surprised by how this turned out, but big picture, they won by controlling the paint, they were moving the ball better, and they were making Arizona play from behind all night long. And I think that's really what it comes down to.
You guys all made great points. And another thing that I want to touch on actually is the fact that the Wolverines actually out-assisted Arizona drastically. It was 22-5. They were able to move the ball around. They were able to just surround people on the perimeter, send guys down low. They were outmatched on every three levels. But on the other side of the bracket, we had Illinois matching up with UConn in the Final Four. It was Illinois' first trip to the Final Four since 2005, but unfortunately for them, they ran into Dan Hurley and the Huskies. Gigi, let's start with you. What impressed you most about UConn in this game?
You guys have heard me say it before about Louis Vuitton Don, but this is Dan, the man that can, regardless of the game we're going to get to in just a little bit. UConn played championship basketball in the Final Four, dare I say better than in the championship itself. They won the inside-out battle. They established the paint early. Reed Jr. was giving it to them. He was a great anchor, 17 points and 11 rebounds. UConn also won the shot war, in my opinion, in terms of quality. Making more difficult threes is impressive for Illinois, yes, but at the end of the day, it's not effective. And when you're in when it's this time of year, what matters is how effective you are and how reliable you are when the shot clock gets low. And lastly, we have to talk about Braylon Mullins. I mean, that championship shot was absolutely beautiful. About 52 seconds left in the game, if I'm not mistaken, and that was to push UConn ahead 66-59. And I feel like that was really the dagger in this game that set them apart and sent them to the finals.
I agree. I think that UConn, just like I was saying about Michigan, they're also another team that's just very well coached. And head coaching is something I feel goes under the radar a little bit,
100%.
especially in NCAA sports. But this team under head coach Dan Hurley, they're just able to get it done season in, season out, no matter who's on the floor. As for Braylon Mullins, I think that kid, honestly, he's a big shot maker. He's a 100%. Big-time player. He's made for tournaments like this and games like this. And that was a part of the reason why UConn was able to come out on top.
I don't know if you guys have seen that clip online of them at practice, and Dan Hurley is like, go run the steps. I feel like that was a great example of how this game was coached.
And like Jaiden and Gigi were saying, Mullins, the freshman, he's hits big shots on big shots. I mean, just think about how they got there. In the Duke game, needed a three, he hits it. And then to go into the Final Four against Illinois, and for Dan Hurley to have his team mentally prepared to recover from that. When teams win on miracles, they sometimes come out slowly in the next game, but UConn controlled this from start to the finish. And that's just a credit to, again, Dan Hurley and just the whole UConn program. We know UConn, they have two tremendous coaches. Both are overly emotional at times, but they do get the job
Right.
done. They do get the job done.
You guys talk about Braylon Mullins, and trust me, a phenomenal run from the freshman, but we are going to get into what he did in the national championship game right now because, man, for somebody that was hitting big shot after big shot, he did not pull through in this game. UConn versus Michigan for the rights to be crowned national champions. It was a gritty game with the Wolverines defeating the Huskies 69-63, crowning Michigan champs for the second time in its school's history. Mason, starting with you, let's talk about what you saw from them in the game and what impressed you most about Michigan's season.
You just really got to credit to Elliot Cadeau, the starting point guard at Michigan. Man, he was talked about horribly over the offseason. North Carolina Tar Heels, they wanted him gone. He was bashed online. And for him to perform and win, the most important player in that run, which is a testament to him, Michigan staff, and just how they were able to get everything done. And again, I'm happy for this Michigan team. They deserve to win this because they played the best. After losing to Purdue in the Big Ten championship, a lot of people started to question this Michigan team. Would they get it done? Would they choke? But they didn't choke. They didn't choke like the Fab Five. They got it done, and that's just a credit to that program, man.
I think that Purdue loss was really huge for Michigan. I think that loss kind of humbled them a little bit, and it happened at a great time as well. Right before the tournament, they knew they had to be locked in. They knew that any game could be their last, and that's exactly how they played it, especially Elliot Cadeau. Shout out to him.
Yeah, 19 points led with that. It's always exciting to see stuff like that in the finals. This was how you said, a gritty one, Isaiah, for sure. I was very interested watching this game. The first title for Michigan since 1989. But what was really interesting to me was the free throws in this game, because I feel like they kind of made the game, which you don't see a lot in finals. Dare I say the Big Ten is back. I mean, they've absolutely dominated sports across the board this year. But again, seeing Michigan secure this title, I personally had UConn going into this game. I thought that they had that scrappy type of play that could pull it out. But I think, like you said, the size of this team earlier was really impactful in the finals. And I think it really made a difference in those final seconds when the shot clock was running down.
Agreed. I think it was times this season where Michigan kind of looked like an NBA team, even with the way that they were just out there dominating teams. They're just bigger than everybody else on the glass, inside the paint. Damara was great. That guy, he doesn't drop a pass.
Yeah.
That guy's great.
I think this also says so much about the transfer portal too. We're living in a new era of NCAA athletics. So seeing how a team of transfers could really come together to take it all the way, that was pretty cool too.
Man, and shout out Penn State. Penn State football and basketball. They only lost by 2 points to this Michigan team. And they gave Indiana their toughest game yet. So.
Hang the banner.
I'll take it.
Gigi had to, bring that up that the Big Ten is back. Maybe we'll see Penn State in March Madness in the national championship. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because that's all for this edition of Culture Central Sports. We had an unbelievable tournament, and we hope March has been kind to your brackets. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this.